You must avoid these 8 bakery chains at all costs, because the truth behind what they're baking will make you question everything you thought you knew about your food. You walk into a bakery, pick up that warm golden loaf, thinking it's fresh, homemade, and pure. But what if I told you that some of the UK's biggest bakery chains are hiding dark secrets that'll make you think twice before you even step foot inside? These aren't just bad ingredients or questionable practices. We're talking major health risks, factory horrors, and shockingly unsafe food practices that are still happening right now. What's going on behind the scenes in these bakeries is so disturbing, you'll never trust a bakery again without asking what's really inside. From artificial additives that have been linked to serious health issues to shocking scandals involving food safety violations, what we've uncovered is enough to make you want to throw out everything you've ever bought. This is about your health, your safety, and how these bakeries have been fooling you for years. The truth about these bakery chains is way more sinister than you think. Stay with us till the end, because the number 1 chain will make you question every loaf of bread you've ever eaten. Trust me, you won't believe what we're about to reveal. Let's get into it. Number 8, Pastry Paradise. You might think you're getting a sweet melt-in-your-mouth treat when you walk into Pastry Paradise, but the truth behind their baked goods is a far cry from paradise. This chain has been around for years, tempting customers with their wide selection of pastries, cakes, and breads. But here's the kicker. Many of their products are made with additives and preservatives that are banned in other countries for their potential health risks. Let's talk about what's really in that perfect-looking eclair, or that perfectly flaky croissant. While the exterior looks golden and inviting, the ingredients inside tell a much darker story. Pastry Paradise has been known to use hydrogenated oils, a cheap alternative to butter that's not only unhealthy, but also linked to serious heart conditions. And that's not even the worst part. In some of their most popular products, you'll find artificial flavorings and colorings that have been linked to hyperactivity in children and potential long-term health risks. But wait, it gets worse. A little-known secret is that Pastry Paradise uses filler dough in many of their products, meaning that instead of high-quality flour and butter, they often rely on cheaper, low-grade ingredients. This dough isn't just low in nutritional value, it's also been found to contain excessive amounts of trans fats and refined sugars, ingredients linked to obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. But because the pastries look fresh and delicious, many customers are none the wiser, continuing to bite into these unhealthy options, assuming they're getting something wholesome. Despite these questionable ingredients, Pastry Paradise has somehow maintained its popularity, largely because their products look so irresistible and are marketed with the perfect nostalgic image of a local bakery. But behind that glossy finish, there's a hidden truth that can't be ignored. If you're eating their pastries, you're consuming far more than you bargained for. Pastry Paradise might be tempting, but it's one you'll want to avoid from now on. But Pastry Paradise isn't the only bakery chain with a dark side. There's one more name that's managed to stay at the top of the bakery game, despite a track record that should raise a lot of eyebrows. If you think their pastries are safer, you might want to think again. Number 7, Sweet Treats Bakery. Sweet Treats. Bakery is a chain you've likely seen in shopping malls or around your neighborhood, offering up everything from donuts to muffins, cupcakes, and more. They've built a reputation for serving sugary delights with an emphasis on indulgence. But what you might not know is that their treats come with a side of hidden dangers that could seriously mess with your health. For starters, Sweet Treats Bakery is notorious for using palm oil, a cheap alternative to butter that may sound harmless, but its environmental and health impact is anything but. Palm oil production is linked to massive deforestation and the destruction of vital ecosystems, including those of endangered species. But it's not just the environmental impact you should be worried about. Palm oil is high in saturated fats, and when used excessively, it contributes to high cholesterol levels, heart disease, and weight gain. But Sweet Treats Bakery's questionable practices don't stop at palm oil. In their drive to cut costs and maximize profits, they've been known to substitute premium ingredients for cheaper alternatives. One of the worst offenders is the use of artificial sweeteners, which have been linked to a variety of health concerns, including cancer risks, hormonal imbalances, and even metabolic disorders. And if you think that's all, think again. Despite marketing themselves as a sweet indulgence, Sweet Treats Bakery products are loaded with preservatives that could be contributing to long-term health problems. Sodium benzoate, a common preservative in their icing and fillings, has been linked to hyperactivity and learning difficulties in children, not to mention being classified as a potential carcinogen by the World Health Organization. It's a bitter truth hidden in the sweetness. With their catchy jingles, glossy ads, and warm, inviting storefronts, Sweet Treats Bakery has maintained a foothold in the market. But with every bite, you're taking in far more than you bargained for. If you want to indulge in a treat that's actually good for you, this bakery isn't the place to go. but Pastry Paradise and Sweet Treats are just the beginning of the list. If you thought those were bad, the next chain on our list takes things to a whole new level of unsettling. Let's just say, if you're looking for a sweet experience, you might want to rethink that next visit to this bakery, because behind their glossy exterior is a long history of food safety issues and questionable ingredients. Number 6, the Bread Basket. The Bread Basket is a chain that prides itself on being a classic British institution. Their shelves are lined with everything from soft, doughy loaves to delicate pastries. It's the kind of place you imagine when you think of a local bakery. Warm, comforting, and simple. But when you dig deeper, you'll see that what's behind those charming storefronts isn't as wholesome as it seems. For one thing, Bread Basket has been caught in multiple food safety scandals. Over the years, the company has faced several recalls, and for some pretty serious reasons. In 2018, the Bread Basket had to pull a significant portion of its products off the shelves due to contamination fears. This wasn't some small, inconsequential mistake either. We're talking about the potential contamination of their breads and cakes with harmful bacteria, including salmonella. It's a food safety disaster that could have led to widespread illness, but thankfully, it was caught before it spiraled out of control. But food safety issues aren't the only thing to worry about. The Bread Basket's products have also been found to contain artificial flavor enhancers and stabilizers. While they may help make the bread softer or keep the cakes moist longer, these additives are the same ones that have been linked to long-term health problems. Chemicals like propylene glycol, which by the way is also used in antifreeze, are often present in their frosting and icing recipes. Some of these chemicals have been linked to allergic reactions, and studies have even shown they can disrupt hormonal balance, especially when consumed frequently. And that's not all. For years, Bread Basket has been criticized for using subpar flour in its products. Instead of the high-quality, whole-grain flour you might expect from a traditional bakery, they often use heavily processed flour with added bleaching agents. These bleaching agents are used to make the flour look whiter and more appealing, but the process strips away nutrients, leaving behind a product that is little more than empty calories. If you thought the Bread Basket was the kind of place you could trust for a wholesome loaf of bread, you might want to think again. From food safety violations to toxic additives, it's clear that this bakery chain has far more lurking behind its shelves than you'd expect. From food safety nightmares to ingredient scandals, we've seen some disturbing revelations so far. But the next chain we're about to talk about isn't just your run-of-the-mill bakery with questionable practices. This one has made headlines for all the wrong reasons. If you thought the Bread Basket was bad, get ready, because number 5 will leave you speechless. Number 5, the Cake Factory. The Cake Factory. It's the name you probably recognize, the one that promises to deliver gourmet cakes and premium quality desserts at affordable prices. Who doesn't love a big, beautiful slice of cake to celebrate life's sweetest moments? But behind those glossy icing layers and tempting chocolate-covered edges, the Cake Factory hides a series of dark secrets that should make you reconsider ever ordering one of their cakes again. Let's start with the most glaring issue: the use of artificial ingredients. While they market their cakes as premium, a deep dive into their ingredient list tells a different story. Many of their cakes contain artificial sweeteners, preservatives, and flavor enhancers that you wouldn't expect to find in a so-called gourmet product. One of the most troubling culprits is aspartame, a sweetener that has been linked to a range of health issues, including headaches, dizziness, and even cancer, according to multiple studies. Aspartame is banned in certain countries, yet the Cake Factory continues to use it in several of their offerings. But that's just the beginning. The Cake Factory's cakes have been found to contain excessive amounts of trans fats, the kind of fats that are linked to heart disease and high cholesterol. They're often used to extend the shelf life of the product and create that smooth, silky texture. While they may look beautiful on the outside, these cakes are loaded with unhealthy ingredients that are anything but gourmet. And if you think you're getting a healthier option, think again. Some of their low-fat or sugar-free options are even worse, as they use artificial additives and sugar alcohols that can lead to digestive issues and insulin spikes. It gets worse. In 2019, the Cake Factory faced a major lawsuit after customers reported finding metal fragments in their cakes. The company quickly dismissed the claims, but the lawsuit raised serious concerns about the quality control processes at their factories. Investigations revealed that production lines were moving so fast that it was almost impossible to catch issues before they reached the shelves. The company's response was lackluster, and no real changes were made to improve their production or safety standards. What's truly concerning, though, is how this company has continued to thrive despite these troubling revelations. They've built an empire on the promise of delicious, affordable cakes. But in reality, you're buying a product loaded with chemicals, unhealthy fats, and potential hazards. The cake factory might be tempting with its bright colors and decadent displays, but the truth is, there's a lot more lurking behind those layers than you'd ever want to know. If you thought the cake factory was bad, get ready. The next chain on our list takes things to a whole new level. This bakery might have a history that stretches back for decades, but underneath the well-polished reputation, it's hiding some shocking truths. If you've ever been tempted by their decadent pastries, you'll want to hear this. Number 4, the Bakery Barn. The Bakery Barn is a name that brings to mind comfort, tradition, and the smell of freshly baked bread wafting through the air. A chain that's been a staple in the UK for years, it prides itself on using high-quality ingredients and authentic baking methods. Sounds lovely, doesn't it? But don't be fooled by the rustic charm and welcoming storefront. Behind the scenes, the Bakery Barn is hiding a dark and unsettling truth that's enough to make you think twice before picking up another scone. While their marketing paints a picture of wholesome, natural ingredients, the reality is far different. Let's start with the preservatives. While many customers assume they're getting a fresh product, many of the Bakery Barn's baked goods contain artificial preservatives like potassium bromate, a chemical that's been linked to cancer and is banned in the EU and many other countries. Despite being illegal in several parts of the world, this chemical continues to be used in their dough to extend shelf life and maintain that fresh from the oven look. Then there's the flour. The Bakery Barn's bread and pastries are often made with bleached flour, which is heavily processed and stripped of nutrients. This flour is not only devoid of the fiber and vitamins you'd expect from whole grain bread, but it also contains harmful additives like chlorine dioxide, a chemical that's used to bleach the flour and make it look whiter. This process leaves behind a product that's essentially empty calories. But the real shocker comes from the factory practices. Multiple reports have emerged from former employees about unsanitary conditions inside their bakeries. From unclean ovens to outdated equipment, it seems the Bakery Barn's commitment to quality control is seriously lacking. In fact, in 2017, the company faced a major food safety recall after a batch of their pastries was contaminated with mold. Yes, mold. And the worst part? It took weeks for the recall to be issued, meaning that thousands of customers unknowingly consumed tainted products. Despite these major health risks, the Bakery Barn has continued to thrive. Why? Because it's marketed as a traditional bakery chain that's been trusted for decades. But once you peel back the layers, you realize it's a business built on unhealthy ingredients, poor practices, and a lack of accountability. If the Bakery Barn sounds bad, just wait until you hear about number 3. Because the next bakery on our list isn't just involved in questionable practices, it's been at the center of one of the most infamous bakery scandals in recent memory. This one is going to shock you. Number 3, Gourmet Loaves. Gourmet Loaves is one of the UK's most well-known bakery chains, loved for its upscale image and premium breads and pastries. Their slogan promises baking at its finest, and with their sleek packaging and high-end storefronts, it's hard not to be tempted. But don't let that fancy image fool you. Behind the high-end branding lies a company riddled with scandal, contamination issues, and more than a few dirty secrets. It all started when a whistleblower from one of Gourmet Loaves' largest factories revealed that the company had been knowingly using substandard ingredients in many of its high-end breads. Instead of using fresh quality flour, they relied on cheaper, low-grade flour that was often contaminated with mold spores and fungal growth. This means that many of their supposedly premium loaves were not only lower quality, but also potentially harmful. But the contamination issues don't stop there. Gourmet Loaves has been involved in several health and safety violations over the years. In 2020, the company faced a major recall when a batch of its artisan breads tested positive for traces of E. coli. This was a wake-up call for many customers who had been buying Gourmet Loaves for years, trusting that the higher price meant better quality. Unfortunately, that trust was broken. Then there's the shocking issue of artificial flavoring. While they market their loaves as being made with natural ingredients, an investigation found that many of their so-called flavored breads, including garlic and herb loaves, contained artificial flavor enhancers and monosodium glutamate, or MSG. These ingredients are known to cause headaches, nausea, and allergic reactions in some people, and when consumed in excess, they can contribute to long-term health problems. On top of all of this, Gourmet Loaves has been consistently criticized for its labor practices. Former employees have come forward claiming that factory workers were pushed to work long hours in unsafe conditions, with little regard for proper sanitation or health guidelines. In fact, several workers reported that cleaning schedules were regularly skipped and equipment was often inadequately cleaned, creating an an environment ripe for contamination. Despite all of these issues, Gourmet Loaves has continued to dominate the UK bakery scene, largely due to its polished image and clever marketing. But beneath the surface, this bakery chain is nothing more than a house of cards, built on low-quality ingredients, unsafe production practices, and a dangerous disregard for consumer health. If you've been eating Gourmet Loaves bread, it's time to rethink your decision. And trust me, number 2 on our list is going to make you rethink a lot more than just your bakery choices. As we reach the top of our list, things are about to get much darker. If you thought the previous bakeries were bad, get ready for a true shocker. The next chain is so deeply embedded in the UK's bakery scene, it's almost impossible to avoid. But what's really hiding inside their ovens might make you reconsider ever walking into one of their stores again. Number 2, the bread shop. The bread shop. It sounds innocent enough, right? A quaint little name that conjures up images of freshly baked, wholesome loaves of bread, perfectly crisp on the outside and soft on the inside. Unfortunately, nothing could be further from the truth. Despite its widespread popularity, this bakery chain has been hiding some of the most disturbing secrets behind its seemingly harmless storefronts. The first red flag comes from their use of enhanced bread. While they market their loaves as artisanal and made from fresh, natural ingredients, the bread shop has been caught using dough conditioners, preservatives, and other artificial additives that extend the shelf life of their products. These ingredients may help maintain the bread's fluffy texture and increase the shelf life, but they also carry risks. Some of these additives, like azodicarbonamide, a chemical linked to respiratory issues and asthma, have been banned in several countries due to their potential health risks. Yet, the bread shop continues to use them in many of their popular products. But the real kicker is their flour. Instead of using wholesome, unprocessed flour, the bread shop has been repeatedly caught using refined, bleached flour that has been stripped of its natural nutrients. To make matters worse, many of their loaves contain excessive amounts of sugar and sodium, making them far less healthy than their artisanal branding suggests. This kind of refined flour and sugar combination can cause blood sugar spikes and contribute to long-term health issues such as diabetes and obesity. And if that wasn't bad enough, the bread shop has also been involved in a series of labor scandals. Workers in several of their factories have come forward, revealing that they were pressured to work long hours in unsanitary conditions with little regard for hygiene or food safety standards. It's not uncommon for workers to find themselves forced to skip cleaning routines, which creates a breeding ground for bacteria. These factory conditions have led to multiple food safety scares, including a salmonella outbreak in 2019 had affected thousands of customers. But here's the most concerning part. Despite all these issues, the harmful additives, the unhealthy ingredients, and the appalling working conditions, the bread shop has continued to thrive. They've built an empire based on the image of wholesome, handmade bread. But the truth is far more sinister. It's time to start questioning whether that loaf you're buying is really worth the risk. Now, we've reached the number 1 spot. If you thought the previous bakery chains were bad, brace yourself for this one, because this is the bakery chain that has captured the hearts of millions, yet is hiding a truth so ugly, it'll make you rethink everything you've ever bought from them. Number 1, the Pastry Palace. The Pastry Palace, a name that might evoke images of delicate pastries, fresh out of the oven croissants, and dreamy cakes. It's the bakery everyone raves about, and you've probably bought one of their sweet treats without even thinking twice. But the truth about Pastry Palace is so disturbing, it's hard to believe they've gotten away with it for so long. Behind the glossy advertisements and charming storefronts, Pastry Palace is hiding a catalogue of health hazards, food safety violations, and questionable practices that have been overlooked for years. The chain has long been known for using artificial flavourings, colourings, and preservatives in many of their baked goods. These additives, while legal, are linked to a host of health issues, from digestive problems to allergic reactions and even cancer. The worst offenders. The synthetic colorants used in their pastries. Some of these colorants are so harmful that they've been banned in multiple countries, but Pastry Palace continues to use them, relying on their bright, eye-catching hues to sell more treats. But that's just the beginning. Pastry Palace's most popular products, from their renowned fruit tarts to their signature cream-filled pastries, are often loaded with trans fats. These fats are notorious for increasing bad cholesterol levels and contributing to heart disease. And while many consumers believe they're indulging in a luxury treat, they're actually consuming some of the unhealthiest fats on the market. It's not just the ingredients that should raise concerns. Pastry Palace's production process has been the subject of several investigations, revealing unsanitary conditions in their factories. In one major expose, former workers revealed that the company had been cutting corners on hygiene, often skipping critical cleaning procedures during the production of their products. This resulted in contamination risks, and several batches of their pastries were were linked to foodborne illnesses, including listeria outbreaks that made headlines in 2021. Despite these troubling revelations, Pastry Palace has managed to maintain its dominance in the market, largely because of its carefully crafted brand image and mass appeal. But once you dig beneath the surface, you realize that their pastries are far from the delightful experience they market themselves to be. Instead, they're a ticking time bomb of unhealthy ingredients, unsafe practices, and corporate greed. The Pastry Palace might be the crown jewel of the bakery world, but it's also the one you should avoid at all costs. What's behind their beautiful displays is not the picture of indulgence and luxury. It's a web of deception, contamination, and harmful additives. And now that you know the truth, it's time to take a stand and say no to their sweet lies. There you have it. 8 UK bakery chains you should think twice about before your next visit. The truth is, what looks fresh and tempting on the outside can sometimes be hiding some dangerous secrets. If you found this video eye-opening, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more shocking truths about everyday brands. Drop a comment below telling us which bakery you'll never visit again, and let us know which aisle we should expose next.